I extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to all of you, our partners and delegates, joining us in the beautiful Spice Isle, Pure Grenada. I regret that I cannot be with you in person for this timely and critical event, which places a much needed spotlight on marine conservation in the Caribbean. This forum provides a valuable platform to explore strategies for resilience, regional collaboration, and sustainable financing, key components in catalyzing an action-oriented agenda, marine conservation goals. The Caribbean is globally recognized for its exceptional and endemic biodiversity, boasting over 12,000 marine species, including approximately 1,400 fish species, 2,000 species of marine mammals, and 10% of the world's coral reefs. Coral reefs ecosystems alone support over 700 reef-associated fish species and numerous invertebrates, while our seagrass meadows and mangrove forests serve not only as nurseries for marine life, but also as essential carbon sinks, helping mitigate ocean acidification, rising temperatures, and deoxygenation.
So in terms of the methodology, we developed a matrix with 15 different criteria to try and figure out which countries we should focus on, because we'd love to look at all, but that's just not feasible. We then and that identified 8 countries, and that is the countries that I called out: the Bahamas, Antigua, Jamaica, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Trinidad and Tobago, and the Dominican Republic. And we then looked at all the different stakeholders for the region. We identified about 150, and then tried to prioritize who were the key stakeholders in that group. We then looked at conducting a policy analysis, which we're still completing. We're looking at the 3 C's for completeness, capacity, and commitment. We then looked at a legal analysis, and then we looked at the laws of the various countries and looked at them versus IUCN targets and GBF targets. And then in terms of the financial analysis, we took a financing focus. So we didn't spend as much time trying to figure out how much money every park needs and how much money they're getting, just in general. We looked at what it would really take to finance bridging that gap from where we are now to get to the 2030 objective. So we developed an overall MPA score, and we're welcome to feedback on our methodology. So we adapted our matrix that we used to identify the 8 countries, and we sort of ranked the different countries according to things like what is their GDP, what percentage of their GDP is related to fisheries, what is the cost per kilometer squared to establish an MPA, what are their legislative structures looking like, what is their policy suite look like, and we came up with an overall score.
And how we prioritize what we do and the actions we take, and also how our partners are able to support us and their priorities, and we are very dependent on those partnerships. And for me, I'm always going off track, right? So I'm disappointed that we do not have a process that allows the agility to respond to these emerging threats when we get together. So we've been in this room discussing, and we have not discussed those issues, which is what we need to discuss. We are still, and I've worked in the multilateral system. I have been there, I've been in the UN, I've been there. The UN provides a framework which we must engage in. It is the only way for SIDS to have a voice. But we must take that and we must put our Caribbean voices on it, and we must put our resilience on it. Our resilience as a people is to take lemons and make lemonade, right? To take sugarcane and molasses and make rum. That's what we do. And I find that we have lost our way a little bit in terms of engaging in the discussion. We have not presented biodiversity to the Climate Change COP as Caribbean SIDS, and we need to be able to do that. And again, I just come back to this issue of responsiveness and agility. The processes that we have set up now do not allow us to be responsive and agile, and we need to find a way to insert into those processes that issue of responsiveness and agility.
In saying to the CBF Secretariat that we needed much more focus on building capacity within the NCTFs. And so this conversation that we're having this week is to build capacity not only with the CBF Secretariat and staff conveying information to you, but learning from the experiences collectively within the room, because I think that is where we can really build on knowledge and capability, is learning from each other. So the workshop this week is built on a series of panel discussions, which is meant to sort of convey information in that context.